And we have $1,000 from Gwendolyn. Fingers crossed for a new Skyrim port. Oh, if only. Thank you so much for your donation, Gwendolyn. And with that, we are ready for this run of Dishonored 2 with DemonicRobots. Take it away.
All right, hey there everyone, my name is DemonicRobots, and welcome to Dishonored 2. This is a stealth action game where we're going to get magical powers, we're going to go really fast. I am joined by two people, my friend Waifu and my friend BT, if you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
Hey,
howdy.
Blood.
I'm Waifu.
All right, so Dishonored 2 is going to follow the story of Emily Colwyn. That's who won the character choice from your guys' bid war, so thank you for the donations for that. To give you guys a quick recap at the beginning of the story, because we don't have much time when we're going in here, this is a very tech-heavy game. Emily was dethroned by her aunt, Delilah, and her father has been frozen in stone. So the goal of this game is to overthrow the conspiracy that overthrew her and win back her throne. We're going to start right in here after all of the chaos goes down in the intro cutscene, which we're going to be skipping, and we're going to jump right into it right now, and I'll give a countdown. 3, 2, 1. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is there's a way to skip a lot of cutscenes and animations in this game by doing damage to yourself or taking damage for something else. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to pick up this bottle, we're going to jump over this railing, and we're going to come over here and kill our first target, who is Mortimer Ramsey. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw a bottle right there. That's going to make it so this guy doesn't cower after we kill his friend. We're going to pick up that item, and that's going to skip a cutscene of Emily putting on her signet ring, which is what we use for a key to climb into the safe area later on. So that's the first part. We're going to be doing another thing called a bottle skip, if I can land it. A bottle skip, what we're going to do is we're going to throw a bottle at ourselves, essentially, to skip another cutscene of her picking up her pistol and her spyglass. If we do it right, pick up this, aim right here, and there we go. So we picked up our pistol and spyglass, we just skipped it completely, and we're off towards the end of the first mission. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to do something called leaps. If you are climbing up something and you pull out your weapons while spamming jump inputs, you get a leap. I'm going to try and do this first try. We'll see how it goes.
I have to go into hiding.
This is a very scary trick.
Way to the docks.
Yep.
I've got to get away. I should talk.
And it looks like we got it.
Yo, Og.
There we go. So that is called a leap. We are going to be doing that a lot during this run. That's going to be the most impressive one, but that's going to show you with that. And that is the first mission done in about a minute and 20 seconds, maybe a minute 30, depending on the load times. But we are going to be going on to the next one. This is where we're actually going to be gaining our ability. So the main difference between Corvo and Emily is the power they get to use for teleportation. Emily is a far reach, which what that does is essentially acts as a grappling hook. It pulls her over to certain positions. She keeps our momentum, and we can do a lot of cool stuff with it. Corvo's is essentially a much simpler one. It's basically just a teleport blink and doesn't allow us to do that, but there is quite a few differences. To give a little bit of a lore background, this is the Outsider. He's kind of the main dude in the void. He's a very mysterious character that gives us our magical powers. We don't really know a whole lot about him and in pretty much any of these games, but yeah. So right now this is our far reach. We can do some cool things here. We can actually do a little bit of bunny hopping if I didn't get that fall animation. That's okay, though. You'll see a lot more of that. This game has pretty simple bunny hopping. Waifu's run definitely has a lot more, but it's essentially we're going to be using that to carry a lot of speed. So we're going to do another one right here.
I'm sorry, can I interject real quick?
Yep.
We just hit 250K.
Whoa, that's awesome. Yeah, very good job, guys.
An important thing with the bunny hopping is you're not gaining speed, you're just maintaining momentum all the way through.
Right. We do have other ways of gaining speed, though, which we're going to use in combination with that. First thing that we got to do, though, is we're going to be getting agility. This is going to allow us to double jump, and eventually it'll also allow us to sprint faster. This is also where we get our crossbow. We use this for a couple of things, mostly sleep darts and flame darts. But to give a story right now, we're gonna go find someone called the Crown Killer. They have basically been killing people for who are Emily's opponents, but they were trying to frame Corvo to make it look like he was doing it because he was like the royal protector. So they thought that, oh, he was killing people who were talking bad about Emily, but it turns out it's a completely different person. So this is what we're gonna be doing during this mission. We're gonna be going to investigate it, and we're trying to meet up with someone named Hypatia, who is a doctor at a nearby asylum. Bloodthunder, would you like to explain what we're gonna be doing here called F-cancels?
Yeah, so we already saw the leap, and that's one way to gain momentum. But there's another way you can do it with Emily. You can't do this with Corvo because of the far reach ability. Whenever you go to far reach, you can wait just a little bit after the animation starts and then cancel it using the default key F. And it just launches you forward and gives you a lot of speed, hence the name F cancel.
Yep. So right now I'm going to be doing another leap here. I'm going to be attempting to do so. There we go.
Very nice.
And that is mission 2. So we skip having to go all the way around. The map is kind of like a horseshoe where you have to go all the way around this other way and then do a lot to skip a bunch of gates, but we're just going to completely go over that. All right, so this is Hypatia's level. This is actually one of the cooler ones. For this mission, if you guys have played this game before, there's 2 ways to get rid of your targets. You can either kill them or eliminate them, incapacitate them, do some way of non-lethally doing it. For the most part, it's always going to be faster to kill them. However, there are a few where we do it non-lethally. It just kind of depends on the character. Unfortunately, Hypatia is not the lucky one. Because, spoilers, she's actually the crown killer. She has kind of a, I guess, werewolf thing going on, where at night she becomes a bad guy. So we're going to come over here. I come over here. So if you see me blocking, bloodthunder, do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so just having your sword out kind of just cancels a lot of animations that you can get. So the more you're not in an animation, the more time you're going to save. So you don't have to wait for like a hard fall animation or climbing over something animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and right there, Demonic actually just clipped to the floor by doing his reach movement and then flicking like directly straight down, and that just clipped him right to the ground. It's not useful in a ton of spots, but right here it's very useful.
Yeah, you think it would be a lot more useful. There are some really cool stuff that you can do with it, but it doesn't come into play as much as you think it would. So we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna hopefully not fail this. Yeah, I am. That's okay. We're gonna do the backup right here. So we need to get to Megan's boat. Normally you can leap into the water right here and land it pretty easily.
Good save.
But good save, yeah.
You'll also see that Demonic is looking through a spyglass sometimes before he does a leap. That's because leaps are like really FPS dependent, and looking through the spyglass helps to stabilize that frame rate. You want it at like a clean 120 to be able to do it. If you go too high or too low, then it can mess with it and make it harder.
Yeah, even when you have like perfect FPS, it's still a very inconsistent trick. So we try and keep it at like the most same FPS every single time we do it, just to make it a little bit easier. But there we go. That was the first level. Now we are going to get Anton Sokolov. He's the guy who made the lock at the very beginning. You know, Anton Sokolov has made this lock. If you play DH1, you'll recognize him as well. He's one of the characters in there. So we're going to be going to go find him. Do you want to explain a little bit about the lore for Jindosh and what he's doing?
Yeah, so Jindosh he's kind of making these giant killer robots. If you've watched the trailer, you've probably seen them. And he's kidnapped Sokolov and he's holding him prisoner in this mansion, which is, I think, everyone's favorite level because it's just so cool to run around in the spot. But yeah, we got to go and deal with Jindosh and then take out Sokolov, or bring him with us, rather. Not taking him out.
Yep. All right, so we're going to try and get up here. So we want to get to the rooftop of this train station because that will hit the trigger for something that we need to have happen later on. It also allows us to come over here and grab a extra mana potion. Thankfully, the mana route isn't actually as tight as, say, like DH2 has, or DH1 has a really tight timing and mana route. Thankfully, it's not as bad because we have those F cancels, but it can still be, you have to be a little bit careful. There we go. Another little thing, if you grab the candle to ride these carriages, it'll instantly put you in there. If you touch it on the door, then it actually will play the animation of her getting inside of it like that. All right, so I'm gonna grab this potion here and got another leap here. This one is actually scary because you take a little bit of damage sometimes, but we got it, no problem. So normally those wires are supposed to damage and kill you. However, you're kind of able to jump on them for a few extra moments before it actually deals damage. So because of that, we can actually hop over them rather than taking the electrocution damage. You still usually end up taking a little bit, but not enough to kill you. Usually if you are playing through casually and you just run on them, you're dead immediately.
And so these leaps that you're doing, they cost mana, right? Do F cancels make it so that they don't cost mana, or how does that work?
1 second here. Oh, whoops, gotta restart that really quickly. Messed up the movement there. So the F cancels do actually cost mana, but the leaps do not. You can do these on no powers actually, which is the main source of getting around for that.
All right.
Gotcha.
We need to
Cool.
eliminate
Yeah, F cancels still start a far reach, so it uses up the mana before you cancel it. Unfortunately, it'd make it a lot nicer if we didn't have to grab some extra potions.
And why?
Yeah. So her far reach ability is actually kind of wonky. You saw right there, what ended up happening is I was like aimed upwards, but it didn't connect. It happens a lot in this game where at the last second, the positioning of where you're aiming at with your far reach just changes completely. So you kind of just like have to get used to like when that happens, usually in areas. So this is Kieran Jindosh. We're gonna welcome him to the final mystery and head down here. So that's our first objective. Each map usually has 2 objectives that you need to do. One of them is to kill or incapacitate a target. The other is to save someone or do something else. Also, we're gonna do another leap another out of bounds right there. So I aim and then I just pull down immediately, and that puts us into here. So this is Sokolov. He's actually a buddy of ours, despite me shooting him with a sleep dart. He's a really cool guy. He will kill your runs a lot if you aren't careful. Like, you can get crushed right there, but thankfully that didn't happen. And now we just need to get him out of here. So don't worry, even though we shot him with a sleep dart, he's still a friend of ours. It's kind of funny. It skips having to deal with a cutscene with him, where you have to like say like, hey, you're alive, cool, and then he passes out. So you have like the same thing that happens. He won't remember it, it's fine.
Even though we can skip most cutscenes in this game, you still want to just get rid of all the small animations leading up to them, or using a weapon, pulling out something. It all adds up over time. 5 seconds here, 10 seconds there.
Yeah, it's amazing how many skips we have for cutscene skips. Also, I'm going to give a quick headphone warning. So sometimes the game can soft lock here. For whatever reason, there's an object that just goes flying at this next area, and if it hits Sokolov, you soft lock. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Okay, it did not happen. So yeah, that's kind of bad if it does, but we're okay. Gonna do some more leaps here to get back to Megan. And, you know, just gonna get in there. Yeet. So he's fine, I promise. I know we've been kind of mean to him, but I promise Sokolov is gonna be totally okay. He might wake up with a bit of a headache, but don't worry about it.
You're a great friend. Just carry him
exactly. So this is where we get a little bit of lore about Delilah. It's essentially an auto-scroller, but we have a little small skip that I might be able to do that saves like, you know, 10 whole seconds. A lot of time here, especially for how short this run is. So this is essentially the woe is me. I was bullied. People were not nice to me. You know, trying to make her sympathetic, but she's kind of a jerk. You know, froze her dad in stone and all that stuff. So we're just gonna kind of make our way up this tree, vine, tentacle thing. And then we are gonna walk off this edge, and we hit the cutscene trigger for the second painting up here. Now that we did that, we do have to wait, so we have a little bit of time for donations if we wanna get a few in.
Oh, sure. We have $25 from Tainted Tally. So proud of DemonicRobots for getting this game into AGDQ. Best of luck on the run. I know you'll do amazing. Less than 3.
Thank you, Tally. You can go for one more.
All right. We have $25 from Crystal. Dishonored is one of my favorite series. So glad to see it being run this year.
All right. So yeah, this is basically explaining that Delilah was Jessamine's sister, who was the Empress from the first game. So they are related, and she is, you know, Emily's aunt. Still not a nice person. Still, you know, tried to murder us, murdered a lot of our friends. Overall, not a good person. But we are going to be going to do some extra stuff, and we're going to be kind of mean to her friends as well. So it evens out at the end of the day. Blood, do you want to explain a little bit about the lore, if you know it, for this area, like what we're doing next?
That's a great question, because this is the part I always forget the lore for. We just, for Conservatory, you just run through it so quickly, and there's no, this game has a lot of autosaves, but if you're in combat, the game won't save. And Conservatory, you're always in combat, so you don't get an autosave. So if you mess up one thing, you have to do the entire level over. So I actually don't know the lore.
Yeah, I actually don't know the lore either. I just know that we're gonna kill Brianna, who is like the leader of a witches coven, and I think we're kind of learning exactly what happened with Delilah. Because if you played the DLC for this game, Delilah was actually part of the DH1 DLC, and you kill her in that. So the fact that she's back is kind of weird because you're like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be dead. That's not right. And even in the intro cutscene, Corvo actually stabs her through the heart, and she just goes, "Lol, no," and then just pushes him back. So the entire like main thing about this is we're trying to figure out exactly how Delilah has her powers and what we're supposed to like do to get around that. But like bloodthunder said, this is actually kind of the scariest area in the entire game for the speedrun because we are in combat the entire time and you don't get your saves. So hopefully nothing goes wrong. But we're gonna do a couple things here. I might die here from RNG. Sometimes they'll throw a rock as I'm going through this. Nope, we're good. All right, we're gonna cut it over here. And now we're gonna do a leap over again to this side. Again, we're still in combat, doing some more B-hops. So we're gonna shoot right next to Brianna. We don't wanna shoot at her because she has magical abilities and she will dodge it like in the Matrix. So hopefully I land this shot. Nope, okay. So I shot a little too close, so we're just gonna walk up there and she's fine, don't worry about it.
Oh my God.
Gonna come down here. And then we're doing another clip. All right, we got it. Gonna hit that trigger and that will get us our next objective and tell us that essentially Aramis Stilton had something to do with her getting back in there. So we're gonna come over here, gonna do another B-hop session, you know, kind of just getting you guys ready for the awesome Left 4 Dead 2 run that our boy Waifu is gonna be doing. Do another F cancel to get over this way and then block over that. And that is the mission. Guys, talk to Megan and we're gonna be moving on to the next part. Like I said, we can't go over a whole lot. I'm skipping over a lot of tech and different things that happen in the run, just purely because we just don't have the commentary for it. But yeah, now we're gonna be going to Stilton's house. And Blood, do you actually want to explain the gimmick for this upcoming level?
Before we even get into Stilton's house, there is a very great puzzle known as the Jindosh riddle that we're gonna have to solve. And only the smartest minds, like I'm talking 200 IQ, watches Rick and Morty, all kinds of smart. Like you have to be on that level to get this very quickly. So we'll see if Demonic's been watching some of his.
Yeah, I don't watch Rick and Morty, so I might mess it up a few times, but I'll do my best. But yeah, so essentially we're supposed to match up names with items. The items that are matched up with the names are completely random, and the solution for it is like kind of random. So the items and the names match up each time in very specific spots, but what items and names are on there are completely random. So it's a little bit of work.
Fine.
Yeah.
You got some wrinkles in your brain. He'll be good.
I was gonna say, I gotta add some wrinkles. But here we go. We're gonna do another little leap right here if I get it. Yep, there we go. Gonna grab that rewiring tool. That is not very easy to say. And we're just gonna walk right through that, no problem. Fun fact, it also makes the enemies hostile to it, so he just ends up evaporating himself. All right, we didn't get the bug. Sometimes you get a bug there where the cutscene will play out and you'll just be able to walk infinitely on the same horizontal plane until the cutscene runs out. We're gonna kill this person because they're in the way. I know it sounds kind of rude. All right. So Marcola Diamond, Conti Ring. Marcola Diamond, Conti Ring. Winslow Snuff, Natsuo Bird. Winslow Snuff, Natsuo Bird, which means Finch War Metal. All right, so I know you guys are like, what did he just say? I was essentially reading the letter and matching up the names with the items where I know they're gonna have the names for it and be in with combination. It's completely random every time what item is, so we don't need to worry about the names on top, but we need to worry about the items down below. And it's very interesting because you can get ones where you literally only turn one dial and it unlocks, and then sometimes you get ones like that where that's decent RNG. But yeah, BT, would you like to talk about what this level is like?
Yeah, so this is also another really, really cool gimmick that sadly is only for this level. So they're going to take away all of our powers. It's a very mysterious land. But we're going to get a item that lets us travel through timelines. So we're going to go from the past to the future, back to the past. And you're supposed to get around the whole map by shifting different timelines around to just kind of discover what happened with Delilah and Stilton and her coming back and her powers. So we're going to go through this cutscene with the Outsider, and he's going to give us the timepiece. that we're gonna need.
And I know it looks like we killed him. I know it looks like he's dead. But I promise you, when I said that there are some non-lethal ways that we deal with these guys, I promise he's not dead. I know it looks like it, but he's fine, okay? In the meantime, this is kind of the only like really part where there's not a whole lot other than that other area with Delilah. So we have time for one donation.
Good thing. We have a $100 donation from Aaron. Love the Dishonored series and love this event. Donating in honor of my father, who I lost to cancer as a teen. Thanks to all the runners and GDQ staff who let us leave our mark in the fight against cancer.
Yeah, let's do one more.
All right. We have $100 from Spoonimus. Thank you, GDQ, for 10 years of amazing runs and record donations. I love watching all my favorite games get broken and discover so many games I never would have even known about. Here's to another 10 years of great speedruns and donations to great causes. Donation goes to the Hades bonus run.
Awesome. So this is our item now, and we're going to be eventually bouncing back between timelines. So again, I promise, Aramis Stilton, he's actually a good guy. So we're not going to kill him. So what essentially happens is he loses his mind because he witnesses a crazy event. And we are going to change things so that doesn't happen. A few things also change as well. If you've noticed, Megan Foster has actually been missing an arm and an eye. I want you guys to notice Megan later on and just kind of keep an eye on what she looks like for the rest of the run. But here we go. I want to see if I can land this shot. It's really difficult to do because there's a pillar that has a hitbox that is much larger than it actually looks like. So we'll see if we land it first shot. If we don't, it's not a big deal, but... Yeah, I missed it. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here. That's Aramis right there. And we have changed the pass. So now he is no longer absolutely crazy and he's no longer dead. He's just sleeping in that timeline and he's perfectly fine in this timeline. So like I said, non-lethally got rid of him. He's A-okay.
Wait, so is this timeline, does he still get stuck in 0G, like falling? Because if he doesn't, then I don't want to be in this timeline.
Unfortunately not. I know it's not as fun, but it's what we have to do. So
I hate it here.
Yeah. So this is actually a cutscene that we're going to avoid. What it is it's basically explaining how Delilah was brought back to life from the void and where her soul is. So she puts it inside of an effigy, which is why we can't kill her because her soul isn't in her body. I don't understand it. But right now we're setting up for a leap later on. We're going to open those two doors in case we get a bad leap. And then we're also going to kill this guy. The reason for that is because if you do the leap, you have to block in order to not get the falling animations when you're doing the leap. And if you mess up, you can accidentally go and knock that guy unconscious because it's the same button. So you get him out of the way of the leap so that doesn't happen. But there we go. Now we can leave this level.
Yeah, and if you're confused about the Delilah and the soul thing, just think of it as Voldemort from Harry Potter, like splitting his soul apart.
Horcrux.
It's essentially the same thing, but she only does it one time.
Oh, I'm gonna try and get this one more time. Okay. Normally you get the leaps here. You either can go up there or down here, but we have a backup one right here. There we go. It's gonna take us all the way over here. So now we are up at the coolest out of bounds in the entire game, and I really hope that we get it first try. So normally this is a huge area where you have to talk to the outsider, get a bunch of, lore, and everybody knows that speedrunners hate lore. So we're gonna walk over here, gonna go out of bounds, gonna do an F cancel to get over by this ledge. We're gonna come down here. We're gonna land like that. Gonna fall off here. And nice, that was perfect. So we just did a lot there. We clip out of bounds, we fall down, we do an F cancel to get to where this area is, where it teleports us later on in that section. And then we clip through the floor once again using Emily's ability, and the end trigger for that spot is just right there. And then we have another cool one right here. This is probably the most egregious, out of bounds. So let's see if I can get it.
There's some very fancy writing on the walls if you pay attention.
Yep. If you guys like template, they use it a lot in this game. So there we go. We have finished it. And also, look, hey, Megan's got her arm back. That's interesting. I wonder if any plot line will come through that in the expansion pack that follows her story. All right.
No way.
Second to last mission. This is the most RNG run or RNG section of the game. first of all, I'm going to do a quick little trick right here, which is another animation skip, or at least I'm going to try it. I might accidentally knock out Megan, which is a game over, but hopefully that doesn't happen. We'll see here in a second. So we're going to come over here, grab this bottle, aim it, throw it up in the air, and I should hit myself. Nope. All right. Well, we didn't knock out Megan. That's a good thing. But yeah, so we're going to get that, and now we are off to the Dukes. Would you like to explain what's going to be happening here, Bloodthunder?
So once you get into the second map of this level, into the actual like castle part, it sets a seed for the RNG that can determine where the Duke's going to spawn. He can spawn in one really good spot, which if he's not there, it's his body double. And then if he's not there, there is 4 other locations that he can be in. So we're really going to hope we don't get duked on this run, because it can eat up a lot of time. But we just need to kill him. For Corvo, you need the key off of his body, but for Emily, that's not the case, because we can just clip right into the vault itself, which is really, really nice.
Yeah. So we're going to do another F cancel right here. There is a way to get around this without using the rewire tool, but I hate it so much that I'm just going to go use this. And now we can get through. But there's like, you can climb up all the way up top and go vertically around it, but it's a real pain and real easy to actually accidentally die. Because if you even like rub up a pixel against those walls when they're not rewired, you just immediately die and there's nothing you can do about it. So
yeah, so coming into this map is where the RNG gets set. So if he has to reload here, it doesn't change anything. Can't save scummit, really.
Yep. Oh, excuse me, folks.
That dude is just body blocking you. Just standing right there.
Right? Also gonna check my potions right there. We have 6. That's like a whole lot. We are doing just fine on potions. But here we go. So this is the bedroom. This is the best spot. And we did not get duked. We got best RNG. Let's go. Perfect for a marathon.
Nice.
So we're gonna come right here. Oh my goodness, I accidentally reloaded the save. Okay, that's fine. We have an autosave. So my F6 key, which is my quick save, and my quick load key are exactly in the same spot. It's F6 and F7. Don't do that because you end up with this. But that's fine because we have auto saves for that, which is really, really important. I'm really glad that we have them.
And as I was just mentioning with the saves, because it's in the next mission, the RNG is already set, so we know he's going to be in the same spot, which is really nice.
Yep. So do apologize about that, but so far this run has been going well. So, you know, I just wanted to make sure, I feel like I was making this look somewhat easy. I promise it's not. There are a lot of better players who put a lot of work into this and they are insanely good. And this is an extremely difficult game. I just wanted to make sure, you know, we weren't doing too good.
Yeah, we've got a couple minutes to spare with the estimate.
Yeah.
The palace.
Figured to just kill him again. Why not, you know?
Yeah.
It's
we could
worth
pretend
it,
that we got
honestly.
duked and we had to reload. Yep. Oh, so see, that's the example. It kind of debated me. It was right there. It was totally fine. And then at the last second, in between me letting go. All right. So let's try that again. So we're going to be coming over this way. It says right there that we killed Luke. You can tell that we didn't get duked by the dialogue. That's the only way to tell it. Oh, come on. So there we go. We're going to rub up against the wall while we're opening that. And then we're going to come down here. This is Delilah's effigy. So we're basically, we've been getting guided by our mom. She's been kind of like telling us like what's been going on and like kind of leading us by using that heart. Because we have gotten rid of the heart, now she is dead and we have Delilah's soul in there now. So we essentially sacrificed our mom to go save our father, which is kind of sweet and doesn't make any sense lore-wise. But we have a little trick coming up in here. But in the meantime, if we would like to have some more donations read, feel free to do so.
All right, we have $25 from Mr. Bones. AGDQ is a great gift to come home. Oh, sorry. AGDQ is a great gift to come home from work too. Love watching the runs and seeing the donations going to good causes. Big thanks to AGDQ, the organizations, the runners, and of course the donators for making these events possible. Loving the Dishonored 2 run and can't wait for Left 4 Dead 2.
You survived.
All right, so what I meant to do there is if you shoot that barrel and then you talk to Megan, it skips all of the dialogue for that scene. So kind of similar to what we've been doing recently. Accidentally threw it, did not mean to do that. But again, you know, I want to make sure that like, I'm not making this look too easy. But here we go. We are up onto the very last mission of the entire game. This is where we are going to finally put Delilah's soul back in her body and kill her. So we're going to do another little animation skip here. We're going to come right over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to crouch and then line ourselves up like that. And that's going to knock us over, and it skips Emily putting her mask on. So that's going to save us about, 5 whole seconds. But
you should not skip putting your mask on, by the way.
I know. Yeah. It's fine, though. There's not a lot of people in this area because they've been massacred by Delilah and her witches. So we
Makes
are
it easy to social distance when you kill everyone.
All right. So, yep, that's another example of that, doing that right there, where, I'm aiming at one spot. But here we go. Gonna do an F cancel to get all the way over here. Sometimes you can get through, sometimes you can't. It's kind of a wonky area. You can see a lot of weird geometry. There we go. Time is going to be coming up actually in about a minute here. This is a very short mission. We have one cool little trick that I'll let bloodthunder explain here that we're going to be doing in a second. This is something you can do as Corvo and Emily, and it's kind of funny because it actually breaks the ending of the game. So don't worry about spoilers because I can't show you those if I wanted to.
Yeah, so we're going to make our way back up the tower. For those unaware, this is the first map of the game. We're just returning, so we're having to climb up the tower instead of descending with a leap. And so he's going to try to just climb up the tower using far reach here. You can stand on these little things. It's a little tricky, and you have to back up before you do that.
Let's go, first try.
Very nice.
That's going to skip a cutscene right there by falling to take damage. All right. We're going to put Delilah's soul back in there. Time is going to be coming up here in just a moment. All right. So I'm going to try and not miss this shot.
Yeah, one
so
shot.
She's not actually...
One opportunity.
Yep. So we're going to go right here. And we got it. All right. And time is coming up now. And that is Dishonored 2, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is Corvo right here. If you guys bid for him, we would have been playing as him, and we would have seen Emily here. So it's kind of a cool thing. You get to choose whichever character you want. He's actually also the protagonist from the first game. But that is Dishonored 2. I want to thank bloodthunder and Waifu, both of you guys coming here with me. Thank you guys so much for helping me out. I'd like to shout out, Tane Tally, my girlfriend. I'd like to shout out Sierra Death, who's been helping me a whole lot, Isuiki, all of those guys, everyone from the DH community. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you guys have any questions or you're interested in the run, we have a Discord, we have a forum, we have a lot of people who are willing to help you out. There's some great guides. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have the best creative event at GDQ.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you so much for that amazing run of Dishonored 2, DemonicRobots. We have $300 from Gritos. Longtime watcher and donator here. I just wanted to thank everyone involved. You're all awesome. Stay safe. And we have $25 from Oyster. This donation goes out to French Toast on the Host. Always the inclusive friend. Keep on toasting. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, friend. And with that, we will go to a Twitch ad. We have $25 from Ashalane. First time donator here. Love GDQ and everything all the speedrunners do. Found out a few months ago that my dad has a fourth cancer, so donating for this cause is more important than ever to me. Keep up the good work and let's get to that first million. We have $50 from Lizzie Pasta. Hades has brought me, my husband, and my sister-in-law together for some amazing bonding time. So of course I have to donate for Hades' bonus game. Let's kick cancer's butt. We have $25 from Gem Black Cat. I've been a long-time lurker to GDQ, but I just learned today that a neighbor lost her life to cancer. I'm donating in her memory. We have $25 from B Sublime, donating in honor of my mom who beat cancer twice, and all of the other moms out there who have fought or are fighting cancer. Huge thanks to the staff and runners. And we have an anonymous $500 donation with no comment, but your donation is very much appreciated. And now we have an interview with the runners for Diablo 3. Take it away.
Thank you very much, French Toast. My name is Jhobz, and I'm here with Heckson, Mitro, and Whisperra, who are all going to be running Diablo 3 in just a little bit. Thank you all for joining me today.
No worries. No problem.
So Diablo 3, you're going to be doing as a co-op speedrun, three-person co-op. Co-op speedruns, I think, are a lot rarer for most people than, kind of the solo speedruns. And I think that they are some of the best speedruns out there. Like, they are some of the most fun you can have because you're just, fooling around with your pals the whole time while trying to go fast. For each of you, how do you feel about co-op speedruns? Like, what kind of got you into them? Let me start with Heckson here.
So what really got us into it was we both liked Diablo. It started off just being Metro and I trying to get the multiplayer world record, and then they sort of eventually split up into the different number of players. But the best thing about it is just the communication and the organization, and that, there are so many tricks in the run, but you can always optimize it. So it just sort of never ends. It'll just always get faster and faster and faster.
Mitro, if you would want to go next.
Yeah. I think it's definitely harder to be competitive because, you have to organize everyone to be there to practice at a certain time and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's definitely less lonely than speedrunning other games. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think co-op is just, it's essentially for us three, it's hanging out with a bunch of friends, and we're just, as if we're planning any other game online, we're just doing this tonight. We're just having some fun. We're messing around. We're seeing if we can find anything new. We're seeing if we can beat an old time or an old split. So it's really good fun.
Yeah, so you mentioned, just taking it kind of casual. You're just trying to go fast and everything. One aspect of speedrunning we don't really get to see on the main stage is the resetting, and that usually comes into play, and missing tricks and having to start over because you're missing PB. With co-op, is there ever that fear that, like, oh man, I'm going to be the reason we got to start over, or is everybody pretty much on the same page with that kind of thing?
I'm just going to quit.
Oh, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say we definitely do some sympathy resets. So if sometimes one of us will be tilted and the rest are good to go, and then we'll just reset anyway to make everyone feel better. So we go into it with the right mindset. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, and look, it doesn't happen often. Like, we're happy to do no resets, but we're very good at Act 1. Let's put it that
way. Listen, every reset is just practice, right? Go ahead, Whisper.
Exactly. I think with a run like Diablo, there's enough RNG in it that, not doing a trick correctly, losing 2 seconds, you're not really going to feel that across the whole kind of hour and a half or so, because there's just so much randomness in the whole run. You can easily make it up with a good map later on.
Okay, yeah. And I know for me personally, it was always like, I was never too, like, if my co-op partner ever made a mistake, I was like, well, I'm not going to point that out or anything, or I don't care about it because I know I'm going to make a mistake like 3 levels from now, and like this will just be the evening out factor.
I think it depends how close you are to GDQ, how stressful you are on mistakes.
That's fair.
Sure.
Well, let's get into Diablo 3 in particular. What is it about this game that you all like doing as a co-op speedrun? Let's start with Mitra on this one.
Yeah, well, I run it solo as well, so I think it's just another facet for the game for me. I just like we played. I think we all played it a lot casually, as a lot of people do. But yeah, speedrunning, it's just I don't know. It gives a new way to enjoy the game without just mindlessly grinding riffs.
Mm-hmm. Whisperra, what draws you to this run?
Yeah, I think not necessarily the story, because I don't think it's been. It's not really what draws us. It's just literally the mechanics of the game, the moving fast, the talking and the communication really gets me. I don't really run it solo. I'm not as enjoyable with that, just due to how much more randomness there is. But being able to communicate effectively and all that stuff, I find that really fun.
And Heckson?
Yeah, look, the selling point really is the game is very different from beginning to end every time you do it. There are a few parts that are set, but most of the game is RNG, and there's a lot of learning that has to be done. And we've probably run it over 1,000 times now together, and we're still finding new things and being surprised. The fact that we're seeing gold splits, often is, there's things like that really get you going. And we've, even just last night there was 3 gold splits in a run, which is insane to us, but still just keeps coming. So we're expecting a good run today from that. And that's sort of what gets us going, I think.
That's really cool. Now, Diablo 3, if I'm not mistaken, this has not been in a GDQ before, I don't think, right? Am I correct on that? So
yes.
how's that feel? And I think a lot of people are also not just super familiar with Diablo, the series speedruns in general. Like we've seen Diablo 2 several times, but I think people still think of it as like, oh, what? That doesn't make much sense to me. So what is it about Diablo 3? What's cool that people should tune in for? Like, why is this something that they took for the first time?
So Diablo 3 specifically, when looking at Diablo 2, there's death threat at all points. As the game goes on, it just gets worse. Like it's a real challenge to finish the game. Diablo 3 isn't a challenge to finish the game, and there is no death threat, but there is so much tech involved. So it's something that you don't have to think about. The run's not going to end at any point. Like you're going from beginning to end, and it's how fast you can do it. We all play monks, so monks give you a dash ability. So there's a lot of technical dashes that we use to skip walls, skip events. There's like minor sequence breaks throughout it, but some of them are really impressive to do. And then it's just learning things. Like the game sends you in directions to do quests that you don't have to do, and showing them the viewers how we do that is also really interesting.
Cool. Anything else anyone would like to add to that? It's hard with these online, 3-person interviews. You got to make sure nobody wants to talk over each other with the latency.
I think you can.
I'll just say, I think, it's I don't know, it's really satisfying to be able to like pull off. It's like some of the dashes we've got to do are really technical and are really precise. And a lot of people, I guess have this impression about Diablo that it's just big random maps and it's just completely chance whether you get in or not. But there's so much learning about how the maps fit together that you can do. Like we've got to a point where there is little randomness to it because we know the map so well and where everything can spawn. So it's really, I don't know, it's really fun being able to, learn all those different things about all those different maps and be able to like make those decisions on the fly. Keeps it like a really fun run to do as well as watch.
Yeah, and watching specifically, I think, is one of the highlights of this, because if you watched it blank, it looks like you're just running from beginning to end, but there's so much content involved. Like nearly everything we do has a backstory to it, and the challenge for us is to get it out so that everyone can understand and appreciate, because once you do, it's hectic and it's very fast and high energy. And everyone can definitely look forward to that. Like it's going to be an hour and a half of stress for everyone involved.
I mean, it sounds to me like it's very similar to why randomizers became very popular, of just a lot of on the fly thinking, and that comes the quickness in your decision making often comes down to how well you know the game, like just how well you know everything about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll point a lot of that out during the run, but yeah, and you're 100% right. The game is a randomizer, and that's what we're playing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty neat. Well, the last thing I want to ask you, because we unfortunately don't have a ton of time here, what's kind of a big moment in the run that somebody can kind of who doesn't know Diablo 3 can look for, or maybe it's a moment that you are personally very nervous for or very excited about, something like that. Whisperra, why don't we start with you this time?
Yeah, so there's throughout the run, there's probably, end of each act, there's a big boss. What we're really looking for and what we're really desperate for is getting some good items along the way. So there's a couple of key items which are really keen on getting, and if we get them, it essentially makes the rest of the run, the stress off our backs of trying to deal damage, because those items just carry us through to the end. So we're looking for a particular item called Balance, which is a diabo, a weapon. If we get that, we're golden.
I've heard Blizzard employees have told me that if you donate to Prevent Cancer Foundation, it increases the chance of diabo dropping.
I heard that too. Weird.
Yeah.
Especially because I don't know anything about Diablo.
Yeah, it's not commonly known, but reading them out in chat also helps.
Any other moments that anybody wants to call out before we wrap up the interview here?
I would say a lot of Act 1 is really technical heavy. The most important thing for us is to get to level 9 as quick as we can. We do a lot of XP manipulation and sort of key dashes at times to get us to level 9 fast. There's one specific trick we do in the middle of Act 1 that will get us from level 6 to level 9 that is really interesting. If anyone hasn't seen it before, look out for that, because it can be replicated by anybody. It's very easy to do once you know how to do it.
That's really cool.
We'll call it out when we get in there.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that one now myself. Any last things anybody wants to get in here before I throw it back and let our host take it away?
I think I'm okay. I would say probably the one thing I would like to highlight is we've had a lot of optimizations. I think I said in the beginning of the interview recently. The world record for this is an hour 25:01. That's for the 3-man specifically. We're pretty sure that we're going to beat it today.
Oh,
not 100% sure, but we're going to try something very new, especially at the end of the game. So there's one cinematic cutscene skip that we're going to do, which will probably give us the world record.
Ooh.
So look out for that. If we do, we're going to donate $50 each. I think we all said if we break the world record. I get high for that because we are.
That's a pretty hefty gamble there. You just put all the chips in the pot of all right, we're putting it out there. Think it might happen. Now you got to deliver.
200 if I don't.
Oh, okay. All right.
What have I done?
Now it's really a gamble. All right. Well, before they start making any more live deals here on stream, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Hey, everybody, you got big incentives now. Tune in to Diablo 3. Should be fun, and apparently should be a world record. Easy, right? We've had 2 of them today already. Let's just make it a third. I don't know. We'll see. But please, everybody, stay tuned. Be sure to check that one out. And of course, stay tuned right now for the Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition run. That's done by Worldly. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for talking with me. And I hope everybody, I wish you good luck on your run. I hope everybody has a good week.
Thanks for helping.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much for that interview, Jhobz. We have $25 from MD Lat QP. That Dishonored 2 run was so fast, I didn't even have time to donate. Fantastic job, DemonicRobots. Shout out to Discord chat. We have $10 from Zorn Gaming. Games as good as Hades don't come around every year. It deserves so many more eyes on it than it got. Can't wait to see it get crushed on GDQ. And we have $500 from Andrew that simply says, super excited.